Look, I'm sorry the lighting is so bad, but you know what? So is the lighting at the Umbrella Mansion, alright? Greetings and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and enjoy. Yeah, YouTube told me my intro music was copyrighted, so this is what you get now. Hey, I'm Sydney. Nice to meet you. If you haven't met me before, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about the Umbrella Academy because I have a bunch of other videos filmed already, but I haven't edited any of them because I was too busy binge watching the Umbrella Academy. So now I'm gonna make a video about it. Oh, by the way, let me just go ahead and say this video is going to contain a ton of spoilers, okay? Like this right here, this is the expiration date. Do not pass this point or your milk will be filled with spoilers. It's spoiled. Yeah. So you should really go watch the show and then come back and watch this video. Please watch this video. For those of you who have watched the show, please proceed and enjoy. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about the Umbrella Academy because I have a lot to say about the subject, okay? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But I have some questions. So, I have my laptop here. I have some notes that I've written out because I wanted to remember everything. Okay, I'm just gonna start off with a simple question. What? That was not the question. The question is, I noticed that it was set in the modern day, like 2019, but there were no cell phones or like modern technology. I mean, they were using payphones. I didn't see a single cell phone. I noticed this and I was confused for a while, like what time period it was set in, because I didn't see any like technology. And I was like watching the people as they were walking across to like try and see if anybody had a cell phone and it wasn't just the family being weird. But no, not a cell phone in sight. Then when like Allison was at the library doing research, she was using like an archaic computer thing. I don't know what that was about. Somehow they have the technology to make a monkey talk and like a full-on artificial intelligence robot lady, but not a cell phone. So I'm gonna talk about like the characters individually for a bit first, just because, you know, I want to be organized here. Number one, Luther. I don't know if this is just me, if I'm just like dumb, but like, what is his actual power? I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't know what his actual power is. I mean, I don't know if I am or not, but I don't know what his actual power is. Like, was he strong or something before? I mean, I think it was him doing the push-ups, right? Like, is that his power, that he's strong? Because I know he turned into like the big hairy gorilla guy, but like before that he didn't seem to really have a power. But I don't know, he was, you know, okay, he was alright. I didn't love him, he wasn't my favorite character, but I thought like his character was very necessary for the story, so it was very, like, he wasn't a useless character in any way. He just obviously wasn't my favorite character. I mean, come on, when there's Klaus, how could he possibly be my favorite character? Next, Diego. So apparently a lot of people don't like Diego. I did not hate him. I liked him a lot, actually. Of course he was a little too hot-headed and impulsive, but I really did like his character. Like, I could relate to him in some ways. He did seem to like just always be set on vengeance, and he was a little too, you know, impulsive, obviously, but overall I did think his character was very like realistic and like human, and I liked it. Let's talk about number 5. That boy. He a wild card. He's so unpredictable, you know? Like, you never know what he's up to because he's always up to something and then he's up to something else, and he's just overall, man, he's just a great character. I loved him. His humor was hilarious. I love that like dry kind of like witty humor. I love that. I'm not very good at it, but I love it when other people do it. So I really enjoyed that. Also, the actor who played him did an amazing job. Like, I really felt like I was watching a grown old man in a child's body. Like, it was so funny. I enjoyed his character a lot. But also, why was no one even like phased by the fact that he was in love with a mannequin? Like, they were all so unbothered that he's just like dragging around this mannequin. But like, I don't know. On one hand, that kind of annoyed me because I was just like, this doesn't seem realistic that they'd be this like unfazed. But on the other hand, I thought it was really, really clever, and it added like an extra layer of comedy to it. Just because like it was funny how unbothered they were by this mannequin, and they were just like rolling with it, you know? He's just, it was amazing, okay? Dolores was the real MVP. I enjoyed. Despite having literally everything written down right in front of me, I forgot to mention I was also very confused as to why number 5 was the only one without a name, because you saw in the flashbacks he did know that they were named like Vanya and Ben, like he knew their names, but he didn't have one. I was really interested to know why he didn't, and I hope we find out eventually. Next up, my boy Klaus. Everybody loves Klaus, okay, and I am no exception. He just, I loved his character so much. Like, he was so funny and just genuinely so funny, and like he's so naturally integrated into everything, and like he always provided really great comedic relief even in like the most serious moments. But it wasn't forced. Like it wasn't like they just had to throw a joke in there for some reason. You know, it was so seamless and great. I loved it. But also I like that they didn't just leave him as like that flat, funny, haha character. They really developed him. Like, he was very deep, and he had his own issues and his own storyline. He went through his own experiences. It was so interesting watching his story, and I honestly hope we get to see more of it. It was so interesting, and we saw him be immature, but we also saw him like step up when he needed to. He was just such a great, like, he was amazing, okay? Also, his leather pants. That's it. That's the full sentence. Okay, Ben. I loved that they still included him in the story even though he was dead, and I really thought it was very interesting how we like saw him through Klaus. Seeing him and interacting with him, I thought that was really interesting how they did that, and it was very like well done with like the cinematography and everything. Wow, cinematography, who is she? She's such a big word. So professional. But I thought that was really good, and I loved his character and like the relationship he had with Klaus. It was so good. Like, we saw Ben looking out for him and trying to help him and like being with him through everything, and then how we progressively saw him like become more real in more ways than one. But I also feel kind of like cheated on that one a little bit, because one, he's dead, but you know, I understand that it's fine.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
But I also feel very lost because we still don't know how he died. Like, he seemed pretty powerful. Like, he had tentacles coming out of him. Like, he's not a weak character. So how did he die? Like, who killed? Like, how? Like, I wish that they had kind of told us that. I hope we eventually find out in season 2 at some point, because we still have no idea how he died. So I feel like they kind of left us hanging with that, but at the same time, it wasn't that important to the story. But it was definitely, Ben was a great character as well. Whoa, my stomach. Okay, next up, Allison. I liked her, honestly. She was great, amazing, no complaints. The only thing that I get that she was trying not to use her powers because of all the like destruction they caused in her past when she was using them to get her way and stuff, and like she was trying not to use them because of the harm that they caused. But I mean, I feel like you can make an exception when there's a bunch of people trying to kill you and your family, but alright, that's fine too. However, I was kind of confused by her relationship with Luther. Like, the rest of them saw each other as brother and sisters, like brothers and sisters, and they were like raised that way despite them being like from different mothers. Ole Hargreaves raised them as siblings, and like he referred to them that way. However, it seemed like from very early on, Luther and Allison didn't see each other that way. So I mean, I didn't hate it, but it did feel a little weird, kind of incesty, but like not too much. I don't know, it was, I didn't hate it, but it was kind of weird. Then again, they weren't really related by blood. Well, so we think. We don't really know who the father of these spontaneously birthed children is, but you know. Okay, Vanya. I loved her character. I feel like I've said the word character so many times in this, like, but I loved her character. She was so well developed, and I really loved the way we saw her progress and change like as the story went on. And I mean, okay, I definitely saw her having powers coming like from the beginning, just because they were really playing up like how ordinary she was, and like I had a feeling that there was no way she was ordinary, but it was still done in such a way that you were still shocked no matter what. Like you were still interested and invested in the story, so it was in no way like boring or predictable. The show had so many twists and turns that you could not see that coming, even if you knew exactly what was coming. Like you knew she was gonna come with some strong powers. You were still like on the edge of your seat at times. Like even though you could see it coming, I don't really think they were trying too hard to hide that, so you know. And I definitely related to her character and like how, you know, she was always left out and excluded from things for all those years. So I definitely really empathized with her, and I really liked her character a lot. The actor did an amazing job at portraying her. Like the emotions were there, like she was really well played. Like it was very well done. But at the same time, Vanya was kind of dumb too. Like she was kind of dumb. Like that dude, Leonard, Harold, what's his face, the creepy guy, I saw him coming from a mile away. Not a mile, from miles. I saw him coming from miles away, and I need hecka strong prescription glasses to see anything. So Harold, to quote Taylor Swift here, I knew you were trouble when you walked in, okay? I mean, come on. If you meet a dude and the literal next day he has a full-on wood carving of you, you should probably start running. And I mean, just in case you didn't see it coming from the start, it definitely became more obvious as time went on. Like, if some dude tries to take you to some remote cabin in the middle of the woods, that's usually a red flag, especially if you don't have cell phones to call for help. I mean, come on. Like, that's horror movie 101. And we see him get so obsessed with like trying to get her to like unlock her secret powers or whatever. And it just got really creepy how invested he was in her powers. But like he was very controlling from the start, especially when you consider the fact that it was less than a week that she knew this dude. Like it's not like some dude that she knew for years and years. It was less than a week, and she's already going to a cabin in the woods with him and stuff. Like that's just a little too much for me. Also, we should have seen Vanya being powerful from the very beginning when we saw her take those pills without any water. Like if you dry swallow pills, you're a powerful human being, okay? Like, bow down. It's just It's just the truth. But just in case all that didn't tip you off, you should have definitely picked up on the psycho vibe he was giving when he threw away her perfectly good sandwich. Who does that? Like, it was perfectly good. It was good. I saw him pick up the sandwich off the table and I was like, oh, is he gonna eat it? No, my mom didn't eat it. He picked it up, put it onto his plate with the rest of the trash he was gonna throw away. And then she asks him, hey, did you throw away my sandwich? I'm kind of hungry. He threw away her sandwich. What kind of psycho? Okay. It's fine. But I gotta say, I really loved that lake scene where she was like trying to learn to control her powers and she was like laughing at herself, trying to like control the boat with her mind or whatever. I thought that was so funny and like realistic. Like, of course you're gonna laugh at yourself if you're out here going like, you know, trying to control a boat. Like, that was so great. I loved that scene. And the scene where she slashed Allison's throat with the bow, that was so good, so cinematic too. I truly thought that she was dead. Like, I was fully ready to believe like, oh, they just did that. She killed her sister. Okay, dang. And like move on. No, like, you thought you were shocked before when they killed her, but then you were shocked even more because she wasn't dead. And it was so cinematic and like clever too, because she slashed it with the bow, which kind of like foreshadows how she ends up using her violin as a weapon, which I thought was really interesting. I noticed that like afterwards, not while I was watching the show, obviously. I'm not that deep. I really thought she was dead, and then she wasn't. I also really loved how it wasn't just like a physical injury for Allison. Like, Vanya essentially took away her power because her whole thing revolves around her saying the words, I heard a rumor, and now she can't speak, which makes the injury that much more intense. But I mean, at the same time, she wasn't really using her power much anyways, so I think she'll get by. Okay, now let's talk about Hazel and Cha-Cha. Yeah, I didn't like them. I mean, it was definitely an interesting side story, and I definitely enjoyed like watching their story like progress and go along. So I'm definitely glad they included it, but I never liked the Hazel and Cha-Cha. I feel like they kind of tried to make us feel bad for them, or like pity them in some way. I didn't. I felt a little sympathy for Hazel, but not that much. But that poor donut lady, like, man, all she wanted was to look at some birds. She just wanted to see a diddly darn warbler. But no, she gets dragged into this and gets kidnapped and almost killed. So unfortunate. I feel bad for her, honestly. Also, I loved how they put this like fun, happy, sunshiny music over fight scenes. I just love that. Like, I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. I loved it. But one thing I've been wondering from the start and still don't have answers to, what happened to the rest of them? What happened to the rest of the kids? Like, Old Umbrella Man only got 7 of them, and there were 40, I think it was 43. So are there just a bunch of kids like wandering around there in the world of powers? Probably. Where are they? We don't know. But yeah, so I hope that at some point we get to see what happened with the other children and like where they are. Also, why were they all so mad at Vanya for writing a book? It's not like their existence was a secret or anything and she like exposed them. There were literal comic books about them and lunchboxes with their faces on them. They weren't exactly hiding. So what was so bad about her book? Like, what was in that? Like, what did she write? And then there's that scene that for some reason no one seems to be talking about. The one where Ol Hargreaves is like sending in nanny after nanny, trying to get Vanya to eat her oatmeal. So he just like sends them in one after the other, trying to like force her to finish her oatmeal, and she's just like snapping their necks casually, like as one does. And like he's so unfazed by this, like he's so unfazed. He's just sending them in there to die. But then he sends in a robot lady who snaps her neck around and frightens her into finishing her oatmeal. Like, he's killing people over trying to get her to finish her diddly darn oatmeal. And then the robot lady becomes their mom until they decide to put her down because of some slight glitches. But yeah, overall, I loved the show. I'm really excited for a season 2. I need more. I'm also very curious like how they're gonna handle the whole time traveling thing, because they all like went back in time and their bodies became younger, but for some reason 5 is the same body, I believe. Like he didn't get any younger or older. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna work, but I don't know. I definitely need more. I loved it so much. Yeah. Anyways, excuse me. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Turn on my notifications, ring that bell, you know. Comment something if you want to. I don't know. Comment who your favorite character was in Umbrella Academy if you watched it. If you didn't watch it and you're still here, I'm sorry for spoiling everything for you, but I did warn you. So even if I did spoil everything for you though, I would still highly recommend watching it. Highly. It was such a good show. Like even if you know what was gonna happen, it's definitely still worth the watch. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.